Okay. So what I mean by having a block, it looks like a block like this, or just a thick towel or a thick blanket you can roll up. So you don't have to, but it just makes it easier when you're sitting down. So, okay, I think it's fine the way my camera's set up. Okay, so if for some reason you can't hear or see me or something happens, just unmute yourself and alert me, okay? So we're gonna sit comfortably. Hold on. I want to play some music in the background where my husband's helping me work on some music that I can kind of funnel in through these classes without it sounding weird, or I don't know. We're trying to figure something out. We got to test some things first. Okay, so sitting comfortably, however that looks to you, we're going to take a big breath in, stretch up. Exhale, bring the arms down, bring the shoulders down, bring your chin down. Inhale, stretch it up all the way up. Exhale, bring the arms down, shoulders down, and chin down. We're going to do 2 more like that. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale it out. And then 1 more big breath in, stretch those arms up. And when you exhale, bring the arms down. And you're going to bring your chin down to your chest as well. So we can keep the shoulders back and down. And from here, you can roll your head from one side to the other, just kind of stretching out the back of the neck. So you don't have to do a full circle. You're just coming from one side and all the way over to the other side. So just feel that nice stretch in your neck. And the next time your chin comes to your chest, right to the center, take your hands and massage up and down your neck and the tops of your shoulders, wherever it feels good. Just trying to loosen up some muscles in your body. All right, and then we'll take a big breath, stretch those arms up. And when you exhale, we're gonna rest one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. And just about a minute here, we're gonna practice some deep breathing. So when you exhale, you're going to pull your belly muscles in. And when you inhale, think about filling your belly with breath and expand that breath through your ribs and into your upper chest, like you're blowing up a balloon. And when you can't take any more breath, you're going to let all that breath go, like you're deflating your balloon and gently pulling your belly muscles in. And then again, start from way down in your belly. Expand your belly with breath, move through your ribs, into your upper chest, out through the shoulders as much as you can, and then a long exhale. And your exhale will be a lot longer than the inhale. And we'll do a couple more like that. Inhaling, starting from way down deep in your belly, starting to blow up that balloon. And when you exhale, let all that breath go. And the last one, just do at your own pace, blowing up your balloon, taking that full deep breath as much as you can. And the body's still a little cold, so it might not be that deep of a breath, but it'll change as we get deeper into the practice. And when you exhale, you'll let all your breath go and gently pulling your belly muscles in. And you can continue deep breathing, just changing your hands, place them in prayer position in front of your heart, bow your head down. And take a second here to set an intention. What is it that you like to get out of yoga class today? And then we'll take a big breath in, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, bring those arms down. Okay, we are going to stand at the top of your mat. I'm going to fix mine up a little bit here. So we're going to start real slow with some sun salutations, nice and slow, and then eventually get it into a flow, whatever flow works and looks for you. Okay, so we're going to start with your feet hip width apart, right underneath your hips, so standing nice and tall. Lift your toes, spread them apart. Lift your heels, place your heels down. Then we'll take an inhale, stretch your arms straight up. Lift up, stretch back, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, fold forward into a forward bend. Head is down. Then inhale, lift your head and your chest halfway up. Exhale, bring it down. And we're going to take your right leg and step it way back into a lunge. Now, your lunge, here's all the different variations. You can be in a lunge off your knee. You can be in a lunge on your knee. So it's up to you. Just depends on where you're at with the flexibility in your body. So let's take an inhale, looking forward. When you exhale, sink your hips down. Try and stretch a little bit more in your hips. And then another inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to take your front foot to the back and be in a full plank off your knees or a modified plank on your knees, which is where I will start right now. I'll be in a modified plank. You're going to keep your hands right underneath your shoulders. We're going to squeeze those elbows in and very slowly do a modified chaturanga. So you lower your body down nice and slow. And then we'll do a little baby cobra. So without using your hands, we're just going to lift the head and chest up using just your back muscles, keeping your legs connected to the floor. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And when you exhale, bring your chest down. We're going to push yourself up onto your knees. Press your butt back so you're nice and long in this kind of halfway, half down dog, half child's pose. So we want to establish the length in the arms first, then come on your toes. Keep that length in your arms. You can keep your knees bent, push back in a down dog. So head is down, arms are long, your shoulders are behind your wrists. And then you can start bending one knee at a time here. Nice and slow, bicycling your legs. So one heel touches the ground, the other knee bends, and you switch. So you try and stretch out the back of your legs here. All right, now both legs will be straight. Don't lock your knees. In fact, bend your knees a little bit and see if you can push back a little bit more. Then try and straighten your legs and dig your heels down to the ground. We're going to, optional, this part, take the right leg up to the ceiling. And we're going to help this right leg all the way up between your hands. So if you need to, you can come down to your knees, grab that right leg and bring it forward into a lunge, or just bring it all the way up in one swoop. So you're in a lunge. You can be on your knees in a lunge, or on your knee in a lunge, or off your knee in a lunge. Take an inhale here. When you exhale, sink down. And then inhale again. And when you exhale, step forward and you're back in a forward fold. Head is down. Inhale, let's lift it halfway up. Exhale down. And we'll come all the way up to a full standing, slight back bend. And then exhale, fold forward all the way down again. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to lead with your left foot. So your left foot goes back into a lunge. You can be off the knee or on the knee. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink those hips down. Inhale again. Exhale, step back into a plank on or off your knees. If you're on your knees, you're going to slowly lower down into a modified chaturanga. If you're on your knees, or on your toes, hover just a couple of inches from the ground. And then we'll pull up into a deeper cobra. Okay, so, but you got to listen to your body and figure out where you want to be for your back bend. Inhale, look forward, lift your chest. Exhale, push your butt back, lengthen your arms, set yourself up into a downward facing dog. Right when you come into a down dog, relax your head, start to move the legs around. Right, and breathe. Just move and shift your body, move the energy in your body. Just see where you feel some tightness, maybe loosening up some of those tight muscles. just by that little movement in down dog. All right, now both legs are still. We're going to take that left leg up. That's optional. You don't have to do that part. And we're going to bring that left foot all the way up to the top, either by one big step or helping it forward or dropping a knee, however you get there. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink your hips down. Inhale again. And exhale, step forward into a forward fold, head is down. Inhale, everything lifts halfway up. Exhale down. And we'll come all the way up to the top. Inhaling, lift up, stretch back. All right, we're going to go a couple more times, a little bit more of a flow. Exhale, fold forward. You go at your own pace though. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. Take your right leg back on an inhale. Exhale, step back into a plank and come down into your chaturanga. Inhale, pick a back bend. Small cobra, deeper cobra, or up dog, your knees off the ground. Exhale into downward facing dog. And we'll hold it here for a breath. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Optional, taking your right leg up to the ceiling and bringing it up between your hands. And inhale, looking forward. And exhale, stepping both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. And then all the way up to the top, lifting up, stretching back. And exhale, fold forward all the way down. And then inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. I'm going to take that left leg back this time for a lunge. Sink down. Exhale into a plank. To chaturanga, your version. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, back to that downward facing dog. Moving around if you like in down dog. I always move around when I come into down dog. All right, left leg goes up. That's optional if you like. And then take it all the way up between your hands. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. And then all the way up to the top. So we're going to add on some standing poses. So let's exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, bring your head down. Take your right leg, step it back, not quite as deep as your original lunge. And you want to make sure that your feet and legs are still hip width apart, okay? So we're going to press your back heel into the ground and keep your back leg straight. Your front leg bends, and we're going to slowly lift up your chest and your torso and take your arms above your head. Warrior one. Good. So once the arms come up, things kind of get tense here, and it's okay. You can kind of start to let yourself settle into the pose. Once you have your balance, you're going to keep the back leg straight and the heel anchored down. And you can probably walk your front foot up a little bit more if you have a little bit more of the flexibility in your hip flexor. So we'll bend your front knee. The arms are either straight up, or if you need a little more assistance in the shoulders that are tight, you can take your arms wider. That's fine too. Lift your chest, sink down in that knee, take a big breath, open up across your chest. Every time you exhale, see if you can sink down a little bit more. Good. Now inhale, we're going to straighten your front leg. And exhale, we're going to reach forward with a flat back. And you want to think about lifting your tailbone. We're going into pyramid. Then we'll take your hands, place them above your knee on your thigh. And don't think about coming forward anymore. I want you to think about lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling, right? So trying to send your right hip forward and lift your tailbone straight back. Then if you have the flexibility, both legs are straight, and you have a little more flexibility in your hamstrings, you can start walking down your leg. You can also use your block or a book or a towel to bring the floor to you. We're going to take a big breath in and out here. And then you're going to bend your front knee, so shift your weight forward and take your back leg all the way up to meet your foot. So both feet are at the top of your mat again. Inhaling, lift it halfway up, exhaling down. And then inhale all the way up to the top for a little baby back bend. And then exhaling, forward fold all the way down. Inhale halfway up, exhale down. And we're going to take that left foot back. Remember, you're not going quite as far as we did originally with that lunge. The back heel and the back leg is straight and anchored. The front leg is bent, and you make your way up. You get your balance. Good job. Once you feel stable, you're going to pull those shoulders away from your ears. Nice. Inhaling, lift your chest. Exhale, bend that front knee, but keep that back leg exactly where it is. Inhaling, lift and open. Exhale, relax in your shoulders. So opening up. If it's hard for you to hold your arms straight up and to relax your shoulders, you can take your arms wider and bend in your elbows. That's fine. Good. Now inhale, front leg straightens. Both legs are straight, they stay straight. We're going to exhale, fold forward as much as you can with a flat back. Lift your tailbone. Then we'll put your hands above your knee. And you can stay here just working on stretching the back of your hamstring by lifting your tailbone up. Or if you have the flexibility without bending your knee, you can come forward or use some kind of a prop to bring the floor to your hands. Okay? Pyramid pose, taking a couple of deep breaths here. Good, and then we'll inhale, lift it halfway up. Exhale, bring it down a little bit further. And then the next time you take an inhale, take your back leg all the way up to the front. Bend your front knee a little bit to do that. Head is down, inhale halfway up. Exhale down. And then all the way up to the top for a big breath in. Reach it up, stretch it up. And then exhale, we're not going to fold forward. We're going to bring your hands down and put it into prayer position in front of your heart. So just take a quick second here to breathe. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just notice what's going on in your body. Notice any sensations in your body. Just taking some long, deep breaths. And then we'll all take a breath together, stretch those arms up. And then exhale it out. All right, let's do a couple more standing poses. So let's stand nice and wide on your mat. You can grab your props if you have any. So your feet are going straight ahead for now. You're going to put your hands on your hips, lift your chest. Again, coming forward with a flat back, right? Start lifting your tailbone. Nice flat back. When you can't go further or can't go forward anymore, you can rest your hands on above your knees and then just keep working on lifting that tailbone up. Or you can reach down to the ground and let your head relax. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're trying to keep those legs straight. Good. You can take your legs wider if you feel like you have the flexibility. Take a long breath in and out here. All right, so we're going to, I'll mirror you. So it'll be your left toes. You're gonna slightly turn those left toes out. Just a little slight turn out, like facing your toes to the corner of your mat. You're gonna walk your hands just a couple of steps over to that foot and bend that knee. So we can start stretching and opening up the inner thigh for triangle and warrior one, which is what we'll do coming up here next. So take a long breath in and out. Good, and then we'll come back to the middle, straighten out that foot, and then a little quarter turn out with your right toes towards the corner of your mat, and then bend that knee, walk your hands over. So it's your right knee that's bent, your left leg that's straight, and your butt stretching back. And if you can't touch the ground, you're gonna keep a hand Your hands on top of your knees, or on top of your knee, I should say. Or you're using a block, or a book, or soup cans, whatever you have. And go ahead and come on up to the center. Both feet are straight ahead. Let your head relax. Good. Inhale, everything lifts halfway up. Exhale, bring it down. And down here, we're going to heel toe your feet together. Make it easier to come on up. We're going to lift it halfway up in a forward fold. Exhale, bring it down. And then we're going to roll it up. We're trying to get the most out of those legs. Inhale, stretch it up. And exhale, release. So that when we come into what we're going to do next, legs wide again, we're going to start with triangle first. So we're going to take a big magic marker and draw a big thick line down the middle of your mat. You'll take your left foot, place it right on top of that line, and then your back foot, you're going to put it right directly on top of it as well, so that the heel of your front foot lines up with the center of your back foot. Okay, so now you have nice, good alignment, and your foundation is perfect. So legs stay straight the whole time for this one. We're going to move your hips from one side to the other. I've yet to take off my jacket. June, you have no jacket on. This is role reversal here. Usually you always have your sweatshirt on. I'm in my garage, it's cold. All right, so we're gonna hinge at this hip right here, right? That's where we're gonna move for triangle. But we're gonna stretch back first. So we're gonna take that front arm, lift it up, and do a little side bend. Look up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach back. Again, inhale. And then exhale, stretch it back. And then we'll inhale, come on up. And remember that hinge. Hinge at that hip. Stretch, stretch, stretch. You can wrap this arm behind you for now. Reach as much as you can, and then place it either above your knee or below your knee, depending on how far down you're going. Before you move further down, think about rotating your hip, your ribs, and your shoulders straight open, right? So nice flatness in the front of your body, flatness in the back of your body. You should be directly above your leg. If you want, you can add that arm. If you have a little more flexibility, you can take your legs a little wider. So take a big breath. Exhale, stretch those hands away from each other. And if you'd like to go further down without coming forward, go for it. Look up to your thumb or just look straight ahead. Take a big breath, triangle pose. And with your next inhale, we're going to stretch a little bit more on the side body. Take that arm across your cheek. Good. And open up that side body. Good. We're going to keep that arm exactly where it is. Bend the leg that you're touching and put your elbow on the inside of that leg. So you've entered into side angle. So we're going to pull the shoulder away from your ear. So each pose we go into is going to prepare us for the next one. We just did triangle. We set ourselves up for side angle. You can see this nice long angle going along the side of our body. And now with this elbow against your knee, you're setting yourself up for a warrior two. So let's take a breath here. Exhale, sink down, rotate open, and then imagine that knee is going to stay exactly where it is, right? When we come up into a warrior two. So don't let that knee start coming inside. Good. So one leg is bent, the other leg stays straight. Your arms are straight out. You can look out towards your fingertips. Take a big breath here. When you exhale, sink down. Relax your shoulders. Another breath here. When you exhale, sink down. Good. And then we'll straighten your leg and we're going to go back to where we started with that reverse triangle, looking up to the ceiling. Take a long breath. And then inhale. We'll come back up and flip your feet or bring your legs together if they need a break. But you just flip them right here. They should already be in a good place. If you need to bring them closer together, that I can understand, because once we get into warrior two, things start getting a little bit further apart and a little more flexible. All right, but we're going to start a little bit closer together with the legs for triangle. So make sure that that front heel lines up with the center of your back foot. And we're going to move your hips. without bending your knees. So your legs stay straight for the first round, okay? For triangle, reverse triangle, legs are straight. So there's that hinge that's right here. That's where we're going to be hinging, but we're going to stretch back first. So we're going to lengthen the opposite side of our body, right? So we're going to take that arm up and reach back. And as you reach back, already start to try and rotate your chest open to the ceiling and take that arm across your cheek. Relax your shoulder down away from your ears. Take a breath. Exhale, reach. Inhale again and reach. And then inhale, we're going to come up and start that hinge. We're going to keep that length in the rib cage, wrap the arm behind you, and stretch out over that leg as much as you can. Don't come forward. Stay right on top of your leg. Put your hands either above your knee or below, depending on where your flexibility is. And then before you start going further down, rotate your torso. So tuck your tail under, rotate your hip, your ribs, your shoulder, and then you can incorporate that arm if you like. And then you can start walking your feet away. They want a little more flexibility, or if you see that you're gaining a little more flexibility while you're here. So take a breath. Exhaling, sinking down, rotating open. Then the next inhale, we're going to take that arm across your cheek. So your palm faces down. Good. And you're still trying to keep that rotation in your chest. As soon as that arm goes over, don't let it pull you over. Keep opening up. We're setting up for side angle. So on the next inhale, we're going to bend that knee, put the elbow on the inside, take your shoulders away from your ears. When you exhale, sink down. Look under that shoulder if you can. And if you can't look under the shoulder, that's okay, but you're going to keep trying to rotate your torso open, okay? Take another breath here. Sink down. Keep that leg open. As we inhale, we come up into that warrior two, right? So we're going to keep pretending that that elbow is still there, pushing that leg open, all right? Back leg is straight. Front leg is bent. Arms are straight out. Look over your shoulders. Take a breath. When you exhale, sink down. Inhale again. Exhale, sink down. And then inhale, we're going to straighten your leg and reverse your triangle one last time. Take a breath and reach. And then we'll inhale, come on up. Bring the arm down, and now you can heel toe, your feet together. Give it a little march in place. Plant your feet right underneath your hips. Inhale, stretch it up. And exhale, bring your hands in prayer position in front of your heart. Just take a second here to close your eyes or a soft gaze in front of you. Notice how your body feels. Do you feel taller? Do you feel longer? Do you feel a little more open in your hips or your back or your chest, whatever it is? Just be aware of how you feel. Good, and then we'll take a big breath, stretch arms up. Exhale, let's do another forward bend all the way down. Inhale, we're gonna lift it halfway up. Exhale, bring it down. And then we're gonna come down onto your knees. Not the most graceful way to get on your knees because we're gonna have to turn on our mat like this. Yes. So in a tabletop position, we're gonna go into cat pose. So you have your hands right underneath your shoulders, your knees are hip width apart, right underneath your hips. We're gonna start with an inhale. Lift your tailbone, lift your chest, lift your chin, inhale. Exhale, tuck and round out your back. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail, round your back. Inhale, lift everything up and open. And exhale, tuck and round. And two more. Inhale, lift up and open. And exhale, tuck and round. And last one, inhale, lift up and open. And exhale, tuck and round out your back. Good, and then bring it to a neutral position. So we're gonna do somewhat of a modified, very modified half moon pose. So we'll still be on all fours. And you're gonna come down onto your left elbow. And once you come down onto your left elbow, I want your fingers to be facing the corner of your mat. Okay, so they're kind of at an angle. It's not going straight across your mat, it's just going towards the corner. This gives you a little bit more stability for when we enter the balancing portion. You're going to take your opposite leg, should be your right leg, and stretch it straight back, keep your toes on the ground. So what's touching the ground right now is your left forearm and your left knee and your right hand. And your back, your opposite leg, your right leg, is just the toes are touching the ground, but that leg is straight. So we're going to raise that whole right leg off the ground, flex your toes, and then start to rotate your hip open. And maybe come up onto the fingertips of your right hand. Okay, you can still keep looking down at your opposite hand. And then if you feel like you're balanced and strong, you can peel that right hand off the ground and touch your hip, or you can stretch it up to the ceiling. So basically the whole left side or one side of your body, if it's not to the left, that's okay. But one side of your body is touching the ground. The other one is lifting up and away. So the opposite leg is straight out and the opposite arm is straight up. So you're doing just a little hybrid half moon pose. All right, when we come out, the hand comes to the floor first, and then we bring the hips down, touch the toe to the ground, and we'll come back up onto all fours, round out your back, tuck your tail, tuck your chin. Inhale, lift it up and open. And exhale, tuck it around. And inhale, lift up and open. Okay, so I'm going to turn around so you can still see me, but we're putting the other arm on the ground. So it should be your right, and if it's not, that's okay. Just do your other one. And the opposite toes are going, or the opposite leg is straight with the toes touching the ground. Okay, so we're starting to prepare yourself to be balanced on one side of your body, okay? Pull in your core, find something you can focus on. Now raise that back leg. The whole leg comes up. Flex your toes, flex your foot, and then rotate your hip open. All right, rotating your hip open. And then if you feel balanced and strong, you can take that opposite hand off the ground, or that same hand off the ground, I should say, and stretch it up towards the ceiling. So you've stacked yourself hip on top of hip. You're balancing on a knee and an elbow of the same side of your body. Your leg is going straight out, parallel with the ground. And then your arm is going straight up if you choose to add the arm. Take a breath. And when we come out, you bring your hand down first. You rotate that hip down, put the toes on the ground, and then we'll come onto all fours, round out your back, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, exhale here, and then inhale, lift everything up and open. And round it out. And inhale, lift up and open. All right, good job. We're gonna lay down on your stomach. And we're gonna stack one hand on top of the other and put your forehead on your hand. And we're gonna do a little kind of rocking side to side with your hips. So while you're doing that, I'm just gonna move my camera down a little bit because now I'm not standing. It'll be a lot easier to see. There we go. Perfect. All right, good job. We're gonna do just a couple of back bends, a few different levels that you can choose from. So lengthen one leg, lift it up and stretch, and then do the same thing with the other leg, lift it up and stretch. And your legs are gonna stay connected to the ground. Let's prop yourself up onto your forearms. So you have your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. And right away, I want you to squeeze your butt and press your pubic bone and your hips into the ground. And as you're doing that, think about lifting your chest up and away. Okay, so you have your hands, your forearms, your elbows connected to the ground, your hips connected to the ground, and you're lifting your chest up and away, looking straight ahead. So this is called Sphinx. It's a very, very safe, modified, easy back bend for most people to do. So you can stay here, Sphinx pose, a level 1. Take another breath. Good. Then we'll slowly come on down. You're going to exchange your hands to where your elbows were, and we're going to slowly come up into a very light baby cobra. So I'm not even using my hands yet, right? So you're going to pull your shoulders back and down. Your elbows are going straight back. You're pushing your pubic bone and your hips into the ground, and you're lifting your chest up and away. So it's a little bit more of a challenge for your back, and you can stay here, or you can go up into a full cobra where you press your hands into the ground. You're pushing away from the ground, and the same concept as all the other back bends. You're pushing your hips into the ground. You're making that connection to the ground and lengthening up from there. Good. And pulling your shoulders back. So you want to keep your shoulders away from your ears. So take a big breath here. And then very slowly, we're going to lower everything down wherever you are. Put one hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands, and just give a little wiggle of your hips. So we're going to do one more back bend of your choice. You can do Sphinx, you can do a low cobra, you can do a full cobra, and then if you want to do up dog, the only difference there is lifting your knees away from the ground while you're in that full cobra. So let's choose the one you want to do, whether you're doing Sphinx, cobra, or up dog. We'll take an inhale. I'm going to start at Sphinx. And all of them follow the same concept. Your legs, your lower body are connected to the ground. And you're lifting up and away from your hip and navel area all the way up, just creating this nice arch of energy through your spine and your chest. And if you choose to do up dog, you're in a full cobra, you take your knees off the ground, squeeze your glutes, and pull the shoulders away from the ears. So we'll take another breath here, wherever you are. And then we'll slowly lower everything down. And once everything makes connection to the ground, you're going to push yourself up, take your knees nice and wide, and sit back in a child's pose. So a full child's pose, your hips are all the way down to your heels. But if your knees don't like to do that, you can kind of stay in a little bit more of a moderate version of a child's pose where your heels don't make a connection to your hips and you can stay propped up on your elbows. So let's take 2 long deep breaths here. It's a nice counter stretch to the back bends. And when you take that deep breath, think about that breath expanding through your entire back. Good. And then we're going to slowly come back up onto all fours. Do a couple of rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. You're going to round out, exhale, tuck your tail, tuck your chin. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, tuck and round. And inhale, lift up and open. All right. And we're going to make our way onto our back. You want to do some back rolls. If you don't like doing back rolls, that's okay. You could just lay on your back and hug your knees into your chest and do some circles with your knees. But do about 4 or 5 back rolls if you're into it. And if you're not into it, just lay on your back, hug your knees into your chest. You can do some circles with your knees and then maybe circle in the other direction. Good. So we're going to do some twists here. So let's start with hugging your right knee into your chest. I'm going to slide back on my mat here. And extending your left leg straight out. So just hugging your knee into your chest. Let your shoulders relax. And really let the weight of your arms do the work here. Okay, both feet are flexed to keep that straight leg anchored to the ground. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. And then we're going to transition into a twist. So you're taking this right knee and starting to take it over to the opposite side. And about halfway through, you kind of want to lift your hips and scooch them back a little bit. And then take your opposite arm straight out to the side. So if this twist is too much for your shoulder or your back or anything, doesn't have to be anything specific, it just doesn't feel right to you, you can bend both of your knees and take them over to the side. So a little more gentle on the body. So what you're looking for here is your knee going over to the opposite side. And if it doesn't quite touch the ground, that's okay. You can stuff blankets or something under there to prop it up so it's just not hanging there. Or you can just bend your opposite leg and put it under there to give it support. Your opposite arm is stretching straight out to the side like a half a letter T. Every time you exhale, you're trying to relax whatever part of your body is holding on to tension. And then when we come out and out, you'll use your hand or your arm that's closest to your leg to help bring that leg up. Give your back support, give your leg support, and straighten yourself out on your mat. Give that knee one more hug in, and then bring the other knee in so both knees are being hugged in. And then we'll do the other side. So we'll straighten out that other leg. And remember, you can keep both knees bent to go into this twist. That's fine. And we're going to make your way over to the opposite side. So halfway down, you're going to lift your hips and kind of scooch them back so that when you come into that twist, you're resting on the side of your hip, okay? And you're trying to line it up. Think about that line we drew on our mat in the beginning with our standing poses. Well, we're trying to get our whole torso lined up exactly on top of that line. So if you need support for your leg as it doesn't quite touch the ground, stuff some blankets or pillows under there, or bend both knees. And then that way you have a leg underneath that other leg, so it's not hanging there. The other arm is stretched out and open, palms up. And when you exhale, you're trying to relax in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your face. And then using your hands for support, the one that's closest to your leg, support it up, bring it back to center. And take a full body stretch here. Stretch out your arms, stretch out your legs. Oh, you know what we have to do? We got to hug the knee into the chest. That's what we did on the other side. We got to mimic it on this one too. So hug that knee back into your chest one more time. Otherwise, we'll be uneven. And then hug both knees into your chest. There, now we're even. We mirrored exactly what we did on the other side on this side too. Now we can take a full body stretch. So stretch out your arms, stretch out your legs. And then just take about 30 seconds here to do any stretches that feel good to you to prepare you for Shavasana. And while you're taking that 30 seconds, I'm going to grab my speaker and bring it a little closer and hopefully play a little music for you while you're in Shavasana. So you can do whatever stretches feel good to you right now. Kind of moving your body around and preparing yourself for Shavasana. And then once you feel like, okay, I feel complete, now I could just lay here and be very still, then you'll want to set yourself up for a shavasana that works for you. Okay. So that could look like anything. It could be laying flat on your back with your palms up, toes out. It could be with your knees bent. It could be laying on your side. If you're in your own space, you really can do anything you want as long as you're comfortable and there's no tension in your body. Once you find that perfect position, take a long breath in, blowing up that balloon, right? From way down in your belly, expand through your ribs and your upper chest. And when you exhale, let all that breath go and let yourself melt into your perfect spot. And we'll take about a minute or a minute and a half here, just enjoying a moment of peace out of your day. Slowly start to bring awareness into your body by wiggling your toes and wiggling your fingers. Take a big breath and stretch your arms and your legs. And then eventually hugging your knees into your chest. Give a little rock from side to side. And then we'll make your way over to your right side in the fetal position. And then we'll slowly come up to a comfortable seated position, taking your time, but any way that's comfortable for you. And once you're upright, we'll take a big breath, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, bring your arms down and rest one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. And from this still, quiet place, sending love to yourself from yourself. And thanks to your body and thanks to yourself. And with your hands in prayer, bow your head down and take a moment to feel a sense of gratitude for the people you love in your life, your friends, your family, your animals, if you have any, and sending them all a quiet thank you. And thank you for being here. Namaste. Thanks, ladies. I'm going to come up and unmute you.